steps forward.
Hey guys, I'm Fluke.
And I'm Woglet.
And this is Response. We asked you guys on Twitter, what heroes do you think are the hardest to master in Dota 2?
This is going to be clear cut. If someone tells you to start playing Dota and Meepo is the hero they suggest, they're a bad friend. They want your hands to feel pain.
Meepo is the hardest hero to use. He's a hero that's 5 heroes at once. He has an ultimate called Divided We Stand, which allows him to split himself into multiple personalities. He then has 5 separate heroes that you have to control all at once. You've really got to make sure that your control grips are on point. If one of your Meepos dies, everybody dies.
And of course, his poof ability, which is what he's famous for. All Meepos jump onto one another. The amount of times I've randomed this hero and clowned myself by jumping the wrong way and just killing myself in the middle of a fight is ridiculous. Leave Meepo on the sidelines where he belongs. He's a 5-man cheer crowd for himself and no one else.
Forthwith.
Use the demo mode. You can put whatever enemies you want against you, try out different item combinations. You can use whatever neutral items you want as well. Utilize that demo mode to get a feel for these heroes like Meepo, like Invoker, who do take quite a lot of practice to get used to that.
We've talked about the hard ones, but what do you actually enjoy to play?
I think anybody who knows me understands that Wraith King is my much preferred hero.
Your king is here.
He's got a very easy point and click stun. He has an aura, he has his Skelly Bros, and he's got a free second life every single time that's off cooldown. Just allows me to play my kind of Dota, where I can get in the middle of the team fight, be that big bruiser, and you have to deal with him because most of the time, he's gonna kill everybody else if you don't kill him twice.
We asked the Dota people, what's your biggest weakness in game? At IOI Esports, I think is highlighted the best. He's just circled Dota people. And I know that sounds really rough, but I think a lot of people have trouble actually playing as a team. Diving towers is worth it, always. The biggest example I can do is the NBA. There's 5 people on the court, but you never hear about all players. The stars don't get very far without their support players, and Dota is the exact same. You might not be the best player on the team, but every single second counts.
At C. Frinman, I want to say drafting or pushing high ground. When it comes to ending the game, I feel like that is a lot of people's actual weaknesses because pushing high ground is one of the hardest things to do in Dota. And if you don't have an advantage, there's no way you're going to be able to do it cleanly.
None may stop me.
Having that little communication, understanding where you should be placed, is probably the easiest way to learn. If you're a support and you're on that high ground, you've made a mistake, that's where the argument, I can't push high ground, always arises.
Drafting. That kind of ties into a bit of the high ground stuff as well. Drafting is probably 50% of the game.
You can have pre-prepared drafts to start with. If you watch these pro players,
It's your band, mate.
when they ban certain heroes and when they pick certain heroes, you understand why there's a little balance.
Choose your hero.
Those little things you can pick up from those drafts are so crucial.
VS Vijay says creep mechanics. This is something that is not widely talked about when it comes to pro players. A little tidbit, creep aggro does refresh every 5 seconds. Should get you some free harass.
I'll do like this now.
Okay.
You can actually just look anywhere on the map. You see an enemy hero, you right click them like you're going to attack them. And it's not something used often, but it's something very good that you can drag the enemy creeps into your range creep and kill that first. And that makes the lane so much easier.
Another one is here from @GG Sonic, is trying not to rage.
That's you.
This is something that I do struggle with. What am I doing wrong? It's just a game. In 5-10 years, this one game of Dota, it's not gonna matter to you.
In 15-20 minutes, this game's not gonna matter to you. Have a stress ball next to you, whatever works for you, just make sure your team isn't also tilted from your rage.
I have a fidget cube at home.
What's a fidget cube?
It's got like a switch on it, and then like you got like a little circle thing, and then like there's like heaps of there's like 6 sides that you can muck around with.
What do I
I have a serious problem, okay? We asked, what lane do you guys struggle with the most in Dota 2? At Hum Wakey asked about the offlane, so I think I'm probably the best person to be talking about that one. Making 5k playing offlane only. The best thing with the offlane is just making sure that you're winning that regen battle. That means the carry's gonna have to lead the lane for a little bit, and that means that you can start getting a little bit more levels, and your position 4 can go gank mid or gank to the safe lane as well.
Your top tower just got sent to the bottom.
If you're winning that regen war, then you should be winning offlanes more often than not. The mid lane here says mid because everyone wants you top to help them at all times. Well, you're a bit of a Zeus main in mid as well, so how does that help you?
Make sure your lane is number 1. First priority is you. 1v1, beat this guy, and then maybe you help out there.
The beast of all worlds.
So most of the time you lose your lane and then you need somebody else to come to
Yeah,
your
lose your lane, panic, scream for help, instead of actually helping others. That's Primo Supremo mid.
That's the Woglet special in mid. That's one that I always love playing with.
If you're playing all lanes and you're struggling with all of them, that's a good sign. It means you're wanting to learn everything. You don't want to just sit in one lane and only play one position.
A trial by fire.
Big takeaway, make sure that you guys are winning the regen war and make sure you guys can play more than one role.
Yeah, no one likes a one-trick pony, that's for sure. Mr. Offlane only.
I play more than one hero.
If you were attending a Dota 2 bootcamp, what would you want to learn? Looking at these responses, a lot of them have been aimed at an Australian fan of ours, Anathan Fam. He is the god of Australian Dota right now. JRobs38, for example, how to fluke and win TI.
I don't think you can really fluke twice. OG, when they were winning those 2 TIs, they didn't become slaves to the meta, they played whatever heroes they wanted to, and they won through the power of friendship. With these boot camps, a lot of the time, you do just try and build those personal relationships outside of the game, because I've seen it work time and time again where friends do seem to win TIs.
The king.
At Lollipop Kids says, map awareness tips and pro mechanics.
Right now, if you look at some of the high-end players, like PPD is a fantastic example. You have to outplay the enemy support. It's not just about how good the ward is, it's about how likely it's going to get dewarded.
A good little tip for map awareness is make sure you check your minimap like you check a revision mirror when you're driving. Check it every couple of seconds, make sure that you understand exactly what's going on around the map. If you see a little blip on the map, it might give you a little bit more information to save you from getting ganked that one extra time.
Double damage.
What would you want to learn if you were going to a bootcamp?
I don't know, I'm pretty great.
You know what? I figured out what I want to learn, how to deal with egos in your team. I think that's crucial. It's not something that's brought up because everyone thinks they're great and he's not the top MMR in Australia for a reason. There's got to be something wrong with him.
But I mean, I can't find any faults in my game, so.
That's the problem.